Good evening, everyone. 33rd regular meeting of the Medford City Council. Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Delarusso. Present. Councilor Falco. Councilor Knight. Present. Councilor Lungo-Koehn. Vice President Marks. Councilor Scarpelli. Present. President Caviola.
Present. 4 present, 3 absent. Please rise and salute the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. 17721, request for an expenditure from the Law Department, claims over $1,000. Dear Mr. President and members of the Stephanie and Burke Mayor, we have the Assistant City Solicitor here. Name and address for the record, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. My name is Kimberly Scanlon, Assistant City Solicitor for the City of Medford, and I reside at 75 Ashcroft Road.
Okay, could you give us a brief description of this case?
Sure. So I'm here tonight, 3 requests for expenditures. This particular case involves Chapter 258 of the Massachusetts General Laws, also known as the Massachusetts Tort Claims Act. The claimant in this case is requesting $4,633.18 as compensation for property damage done to his vehicle on January 1st, which involved a fire department vehicle. I received the appropriate paperwork from the claimant. The case was settled prior to trial, and I am here tonight respectfully requesting approval in that amount.
Thank you. On the motion of approval by Councilor Delarusso, seconded by Councilor Knight. All those in favor? Roll call has been requested.
Councilor Delarusso. Yes. Councilor Falco. Councilor Knight. Yes. Councilor Lungo-Koehn. Vice President Marks. Councilor Scarpelli. Yes. President Caviola.
Yes. 4 in the affirmative, 3 absent. Motion passes.
Thank you, Mr. President.
17722, request from the Expenditure Law Department, claims over $1,000. Dear Mr. President and members of the Office of City Council, Stephanie Burke, Patricia Dyer versus the City of Medford. Madam Solicitor, could you please give us a brief synopsis of the case?
Certainly, Mr. President. The claimant in this case, and by the way, this case involves Chapter 84, also known as the Street Defect Statute. The claimant in this case seeks compensation for injuries she suffered as a result of a uneven sidewalk panel on Grant Avenue. Due to her fall, she suffered cuts to her hands, her mouth. She broke her dentures, fractured her nose, and because her medical expenses exceed $66,500, I am requesting $5,000, which is the cap under the statute tonight.
Thank you. On the motion by Councilor Delarusso, excuse me, name and address for the record, please.
Mr. President, on
Name and
this,
address for the record, please.
Robert Penta, 0 Summit Road, former member of this board. Whether it be this question or the next one, it is maybe the terminology is wrong. It says medical cost is $5,000, but in the narrative it says medical bills are in excess of $6,500. Could that be just explained why it's 5 and not 65? The next,
Sure,
they're both the next one is the same thing.
Sure, that's correct, because $5,000 is the cap that you can recover under Chapter 84 of the General Laws, which also falls under this particular case and the next one as well. So for the medical, although they were in excess of $65, the maximum amount that I can ask for from this council is $5,000, which is why I've always put $5,000, because that's the max I can ask for.
Then the question is, under the term other, can you just explain, this is for clarification.
Sure.
For the purposes of other, could she have collected the difference
Point
of
of order,
15?
Councilor Knight.
Your common practice is to allow people to speak at the podium. The Assistant City Solicitor is here. She's willing to answer the question. I don't know what his problem is tonight, but if he wants to keep disrupting me every time I speak, he can show his rudeness.
The solicitor would,
What is the gentleman suggesting that's problematic?
let's,
What's problematic, Council Knight? Pardon me? What does that mean? She has the floor.
right.
You better rest your case.
okay,
Could
Mr.
you answer that, please? The other.
I'm sorry, what was the question?
The question on other. What does other mean? Could you take the money from other?
Councilor Knight?
In terms of...
Picking up the difference.
I guess I'm still not understanding.
Okay, under Chapter 84, you said the max is $5,000.
Correct.
But to get over and beyond that, there's a term there called other. Is there any other way to get that person up to the $6,500?
In terms of
The case itself?
expenses?
Yeah.
That type of thing?
Yeah.
Under medical expenses, which I guess would fall under medical cost, but the way that's always been worded is other. I suspect it would fall under something that's not necessarily medical cost, but a copay, something to that effect. Out-of-pocket expenses will usually fall under other as well.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President.
On the motion by Councilor Dela Russo, seconded by Councilor Knight. Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Dela Russo. Yes. Councilor Falco. Councilor Knight. Yes. Councilor Lungo-Koehn. Vice President Marks. Councilor Scarpelli. Yes. President Caviola.
Yes. For the affirmative, 3 absent. Motion passes. 17723, request for an expenditure from Law Department, claims over $1,000. Dear President and members of Honorable City Council, Stephanie Burke, client name, Tidra Alessio versus City of Medford. Could you please give us a synopsis on the case, please?
Certainly. Thank you, Mr. President, members of the City Council. Again, my name is Kimberly Scanlon, the Assistant City Solicitor for the City of Medford. The claimant in this case is requesting compensation for injuries due to a street defect at or about 161 College Avenue, namely a pothole. As a result, she fractured her elbow and sustained a concussion. She was treated at Massachusetts General Hospital, and because her medical bills are in excess of $7,000, again, under the statute, I am requesting $5,000, which is the cap.
Thank you. On the motion by Councilor Dela Russo, seconded by Councilor Knight. Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Dela Russo. Yes. Councilor Falco. Councilor Knight. Yes. Councilor Lungo-Koehn. Vice President Marks. Councilor Scarpelli. Yes. President Caviola.
Yes, 4 in the affirmative, 3 absent, motion passes. Mr. Clerk, could you please go in and inform the other 3 members they have 2 minutes to come in, or the meeting will be adjourned.
Thank you, Mr. President, members of the
Thank
City
you.
Council.
I cannot take those, Mr. Del Russo, because the person that has made those requests is not here. So, Mr. Clerk, if you will take a 2-minute recess. Motion, you got 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Motion to resume the meeting. All those in favor? Motion passes. 17. Suspension of the rules offered by Councilor Lungo-Koehn, seconded by Councilor Marks. All those in favor? Motion passes. Councilor Lungo-Koehn.
Thank you, President Carviello. If I first could just ask that you mark Councilor Marks, Councilor Falco, and I present for this meeting. We were over at the Zoning Board of Appeals meeting. The Zoning Board of Appeals is going to be gracious enough to let any city councilor that wants to speak on the matter of Medford Street and Broadway, a development that we've received a number of complaints on this week. They're going to allow us to speak in the next several minutes.
Okay, if we can get done quick, we can go over them.
I would respectfully ask that we take a break, a 20-minute recess.
On the motion by Councilor Lungo-Koehn to take a 20-minute recess to attend the Board of Appeals hearing, seconded by Councilor Falco. All those in favor? Mr. Clerk, the chair is in doubt. Mr. Clerk, please call the roll. Oh, excuse me, Councilor Knight.
Mr. President, looking at the papers that are remaining here, I think that if we put our heads down and just focus on what's going on, we'll be able to get out of here before 10 minutes is over. I think we only
I
have,
tend to agree with you.
all the items on our agenda have been disposed of. The only items that we have here are a couple of under suspension items that Councilor Marks has put forward
I tend to agree
relative
with
to
you,
some
but-
public safety concerns that he has in the neighborhood from knocking on doors. Or from his parks.
All right, well,
I have
Mr.
one.
Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Del Russo. No. Councilor Falco. Yes. Councilor Knight.
No.
Councilor Lungo-Koehn.
Yes.
Vice President Marks. Yes. Councilor Scarpelli. No. President Carviallo.
No.
Move suspension take 17-726.
It's papers against the clerk. They're all coming up.
Three in the affirmative. Madam Mayor, I'm sorry, Madam Vice.
17-726.
17726, offered by Councilor Lungo-Koehn, be it resolved that the council vote to push the October 31st meeting from 7 p.m. to an 8 p.m. start.
Roll call vote, please. I
Counsel.
believe we didn't want to push the meeting
Can I
to a
just-
Monday or Wednesday.
Can I just interject 1 second?
Yes.
I was informed by the clerk that there is a National Grid hearing that evening at 7 that he has already sent out a notification for.
Okay.
So, just want to let you know that, so, all right? On the motion by Councilor Lungo-Koehn, all those in favor? Motion to adjourn. Motion to, we have no further paper in the business? We're all done with them. We just did the last two? No, we're all done with them. The records of the meeting. We're past two.
Is there a point of order, Mr. President? I'm sorry to delay on 17-726. Is that, what was the resolution of that?
17-726, there's already a hearing scheduled for 7 o'clock that evening with National Grid, so, and the clerk has already sent out notifications, so that could not happen. Motion to table by Councilor Knight, seconded by Councilor Del Russo. All those in favor? Aye. Motion passes. Records of October 17th were passed to Councilor Lungo-Koehn, which we will table, as she has gone. Motion by Councilor Knight to table, seconded by Councilor Del Russo. All those in favor? Aye. Motion to adjourn by Councilor Knight, seconded by Councilor Scarpelli. All those in favor? Motion passes. Meeting is adjourned.